Hello and welcome to the Money Show, your one-stop destination for all your personal finance queries. I'm Kavita Thapliyal, and once again we have lined a Power Pack show for you today where we'll be focusing on insurance in the first half of the show, and later on we'll be answering your financial portfolio queries. So just in case you're watching the show live and you want to send across your queries, you can do that on our WhatsApp number, which is 865-797-4571. And we also have an email ID where you can send across your question. The email ID is themoneyShow@etnow.tv. All right, so let's begin the show. And electric vehicles are transforming our roads, offering a cleaner and more sustainable mode of transportation. However, with this innovation comes new considerations, particularly concerning insurance. One critical aspect is the EV battery, which can constitute up to 50% of the vehicle's cost. While manufacturers typically provide warranties lasting around 8 years or a specific mileage, these warranties may not cover all potential damages, especially those arising from overcharging, water ingress, oil manufacturing defects once the warranty period lapses. Now, standard motor insurance often doesn't cover such scenarios, making specialized battery insurance increasingly important for EV owners. So today, we'll delve into these nuances of EV battery insurance, exploring its significance, coverage details, and what EV owners should consider before making a purchase. Today, I have with me Pasricha, Head of Motor Insurance Policy Bazaar. Hi Paras, good evening and welcome to the Money Show. A very important aspect and not much talked about also. Let's understand the need. Now, why is specialized battery insurance becoming essentials for EV owners? What's the ground reality behind it?
So, Kavita, I think you have brought a very pertinent issue. So, EV as a market has been growing 20-25%. In terms of the EV insurance, also, we are seeing a lot of inquiries on our platform. In fact, there has been a 16-fold increase in the inquiries from the last year itself. So, there are a lot of questions around the battery. So, like you mentioned, battery constitutes somewhere in the range of 50 to 60% of the cost of the vehicle, right? So in this case, in terms of the normal insurance which is there, firstly, I would like to cover some aspects of that. In a normal comprehensive insurance, I think the good thing is from the battery perspective, if there is any accident which is there, if you have gotten into an accident and if there is any damages to the vehicle, and if you have got a zero depreciation policy, in that case, the battery is covered. But like we all know that accident is not the only scenario, right? When we are talking about the Indian market, there are other things which can also happen. Other things which are very relevant, which we also see in our day-to-day life is one is obviously the scenarios of flooding. We see that there is water which gets collected in basements, etc., due to which the battery might get harmed. Secondly, battery is again a very nuanced element, and which it is a very new element also. So with the charging equipment, etc., there is also a chance of a short circuit happening, or even worse, there might be a power surge in your society or in your locality, due to which your battery might get damaged. So in all of those scenarios, the standard comprehensive coverage will not be able to cover you. For these scenarios, additionally, you need a battery cover. And I think all the insurance companies, they have realized the need for this. And if you'll see, most of them are offering this additional cover to the customers. So they can cover themselves in all these scenarios. Flooding is very common. Again, short circuit power surges also have started to see. So these scenarios are getting covered if you take an additional battery cover. Additionally, now even because charging equipment in itself, along with the entire installation, etc., that is also very costly. That also constitutes around 5% of the overall cost of the vehicle. So that coverage is also available now, but at an additional cost. So these elements are very important, and any EV owner should keep this in mind while getting the insurance.
Right. That's very important, the EV owner needs to keep all these things in, all these factors in mind and then ask for that kind of an additional cover. But then having said that, are we also looking at some other common misconceptions, Paras, about battery coverage in standard motor insurance policies apart from what you've mentioned already?
So in standard motor insurance policy, I think the good part which is there which is also very relevant to be noted, is accident scenarios are covered. The scenarios which come out of water ingression or water damaging your engine or your battery, which is a consequential damage. This is something which did not happen due to the accident, but this happened consequentially because you were driving the car, or like the example of short circuit, etc. These scenarios are not covered under the standard policy. For these scenarios, you need to get the battery cover additionally. And like you said, manufacturer warranty is also there. But again, the manufacturer warranty doesn't cover these scenarios because in this case, it is not the fault of the manufacturer, or there is or whatever we have stated out. It's not because of the manufacturing defect. If there is something due to manufacturing defect, it gets covered there.
Right,
So
right,
for
right.
such scenarios, apart from accident and apart from manufacturing defect, you need to get an additional cover for yourself.
Absolutely. Now, talking about the additional cover and talking about the features, that this cover will be providing to the EV owner, what is the cost attached to it? Additional cover comes at how much percentage rise? And, if you could just elaborate on types of damages or scenarios which are typically covered under EV battery insurance, and are there any specific exclusion policy holders should know before buying these additional covers?
Sure, sure. So starting with the cost is dependent on the IDV of the vehicle, which is the value of the car. So if just taking a simple example of a 10 lakh rupee car, so just to get this additional battery protection, the cost will somewhere be in the range of 0.2% to 0.4%, which will practically mean 3 to 4,000 rupees. This cost can actually be different also for your vehicle. That all depends on the experience, because there are some vehicles who have had a good experience right now where manufacturers have also made sure that such scenarios don't happen, or water ingestion doesn't happen that easily, or there are more safeguards to that. In those cases, you'll get a better deal. You might get this coverage for as low as 2,000 rupees. But in other cases where the vehicle is prone to such damages, the coverage might increase to 5,000 rupees. Again, this is something which is additional, which is over and above your comprehensive policy. And along with the comprehensive policy, another thing which you should have is a zero depreciation policy, which is again very important because that gives you the entire cover in case of any accident. So this is the cost of the additional cover which we are talking about. In terms of the exclusions, which and before coming to the exclusions, I think additionally what I spoke about earlier also, apart from these scenarios, power surge, short circuit, water ingestion, there are additional covers also available, which you can buy at a very nominal cost, which will cover your chargers, etc. Chargers also. There are now portable chargers which are there. Then there is related equipment which is related to your battery. So all of those can be bought. So these will help you cover the different scenarios which can happen. Scenarios such as there can be flooding, there can be water which has collected in your basement, due to which your vehicle, when you try to start the vehicle or when you try to get it functional, then you realize that because of a consequential damage, there has been damage to the battery. So these scenarios get covered. Another scenario can be you're just driving the vehicle and because of no fault of yours, there was some water which was collected and you tried to you did not intentionally go into it, but your vehicle got damaged due to water ingression again. So these scenarios also get covered if you are taking the right sort of coverage. What is not covered, what are the exceptions, is in terms of the normal wear and tear, because that is something which is depending on the usage of the user. What is not covered is also what is covered under the manufacturing warranty. So if there is something which is coming out of a manufacturing defect, or if there is some kind of error which has happened from the manufacturer side, which has led to this condition happening or led to a fire, etc. In this scenario due to manufacturing defect, that is covered under the manufacturing warranty. So that is something you need to be careful about.
Absolutely. Paras, I also want to focus on the depreciation and claims aspect. Now, how does battery depreciation affect the claim settlement process? And are there options for zero depreciation covers for EV batteries?
Right, Kavita. I think that's a very important element, because, like I said, accidents are the biggest scenario, right? And in accident, a comprehensive or standard policy provides you coverage, but that coverage comes with a depreciation, which is part of a standard policy. So that depreciation will be 50% for battery. So in this case, getting a zero depreciation policy is very important. Zero depreciation policy ensures that your depreciation is not deducted, you're getting the entire value. And more so in case of an electric vehicle, this is more important because, like we discussed earlier, 50 to 60% of the vehicle cost is the battery. So you would not want to pay the depreciation element there. So getting a zero depreciation policy is very advisable. It protects you in case of the accidental damages.
Paras, now if we look at cost benefit analysis, okay, now considering the high replacement cost of EV batteries, how cost effective is purchasing battery insurance, and specifically, for what category owner are we talking about this? The high mileage user, the fleet operator. Is battery insurance most beneficial? If any specific category you think needs it the most, what category would it be, and what will be the cost benefit analysis?
Got it. So in fact, because EV, while obviously it's a growing category, in terms of the experience overall, it is still very young as compared to a petrol or a diesel car, right? We have been driving them for years, so we know how the mechanics work. So for a EV, I wouldn't say that there is any one particular kind of user who should opt for uh, proper ZD coverage along with a battery cover. I would say that it is essential for everybody because that can happen to anyone. Flooding scenarios such as power surge, short circuit. These are very day-to-day scenarios. These are not dependent on how long you are driving the car for or how much you drive the car, but this can happen to anybody. So my recommendation is everybody should look to at least get a comprehensive with zero depreciation policy. And additionally, understand and ensure you're covering your battery also with an additional protector. Uh, However, having said that, moreover, for the fleet owners, for people who use their vehicle daily, it is all the more advisable because if you're using the vehicle more, there might be more scenarios which might come up. Your usage will be more, so you'll have to charge your battery more, which can lead to this power surge or short circuit scenarios. So if you are driving more, if you have a fleet, etc., then you should surely get it. But my recommendation personal is because we have limited experience and this is also improving with time. So initially, because it's still a pretty younger market, initially every user should opt for it. In terms of the cost benefit analysis, if you'll see the cost of a additional battery cover is not very high. It's somewhere in the range of, like I took an example, for a 10,000 car, it will be somewhere in the range of 3 to 4,000. Might go up depending on your vehicle, but usually it will be in that range. So spending that additional money to cover battery fully, which is a very important element of your car, I think it's a very worthy investment because that will give you the benefits, and at least for the initial years of your car ownership, you will be worry free. That you don't need to worry about if anything happens to your battery.
Paras, I also want to understand now, since we've spoken about integration with existing policy, you need to buy an additional cover. Are EV battery additional covers available with all the general insurance issuers, or are we talking about just specific companies over here?
Right. So additional cover is required to protect you in the scenarios which we discussed. These covers are now available with most of the prominent insurers already. For the insurers where it is not available yet, they are also in the works of getting it ready and getting it out in the market because this is something which everybody realizes. But all the prominent insurers, all the GI insurers, they are actively working towards it, and most of them already have it. And it is also available on our platform as well.
Paras, the coverage amount depends on what kind of factors. If someone really after watching this particular episode wants to go and buy an EV battery insurance cover, what thumb rule would you want them to offer, and how should they decide their insurance coverage?
Right. So insurance coverage, like I said, will depend upon the value of the vehicle. So if the value of the vehicle is more, which translates into the insured declared value, which is the IDV, the cost of the cover will also increase because it is a percentage of the car value, right? Having said that, so just to take an example, for a 10 lakh car, the cover might be in the range of 3 4,000 rupees, but for a 20 lakh IDV, it will go up to 7 to 8,000, and subsequently for a 30 lakh, it will go up to 10 12,000 also. But the important part is that if your vehicle is more expensive, then the battery cost is also that much high. So spending that additional money might help. Again, this is additional protection which we are talking about. Accident scenarios, every accident is already covered in the comprehensive policy. Along with the comprehensive policy, you should get a zero depreciation, which will ensure the depreciation is also not deducted. So I would say if you are a car EV lover and if you are getting an EV for yourself, you should do the cost benefit analysis and see that the additional money you're spending, how much is that in as compared to the peace of mind you're getting, because the cost of the battery is 50% of your vehicle cost. So for a 30 lakh car, it is 15 lakh rupees. So by spending that additional 10,000 rupees, if you are feeling that, you feel more confident while driving your vehicle, I think that will be surely worth it.
Paris, let's also look at the future outlook now. With advancements in battery technology and changing insurance landscapes, how do you foresee the evolution of EV battery insurance in next 5 to 10 years?
I think 5 to 10 years is a very long period of time.
Sure.
Firstly, the evolution will happen both on the manufacturer side and as well as the insurer side. So we have already started to see the manufacturers. They are already working on making sure that the EVs which they are producing, they are more and more capable of handling the different scenarios, whether it is water, short circuit, power surge. So once that starts to happen, and once there is some experience also that, after a certain amount of time, once everybody gets an understanding that how much frequency, how much claims, how much severity will come, then the insurance products will also continue to evolve. So right now also they are evolving. It started with, initially people were just picking up the zero depreciation, but then water ingression, short circuit, power surge got the need for a battery cover. Now in the battery cover also there are additional covers which are protecting your chargers, related equipment, because we started to see those cases also coming up. So as and when the experience develops, this will further improve the offering. From what we foresee also is that because the manufacturers are very actively working on improving and ensuring these scenarios don't happen, the cost of insurance will also keep on improving with time. If I'll just tell you, the cost of a own damage or a ZD insurance is not very different right now also for a EV insurance. Uh, but because the IDV is higher, the value is higher, a normal car will be, let's say, next one will be 10 lakh IDV, but this is a 15 lakh IDV. So that additional premium is becoming coming because of the IDV. But the cost per IDV is still very efficient for an EV owner right now. There is just additional covers which you need as per your discretion to prevent those scenarios. And those covers will also get better, and if the experience improves, those covers will also get relatively more value for money with time.
All right, one last question, Paras, and then we'll wrap up this discussion. Now, are there any upcoming regulatory changes that could impact EV battery insurance policies, something that you're aware about?
Nothing as such which is coming up which will impact the EV battery insurance per se. In fact, from not from the battery perspective, but from the regulatory perspective, the third party insurance. I just want to add, not related to this, but third party insurance for EV cars are cheaper by almost 15%. So regulatory perspective, I think there will be always momentum, always favoritism, not favoritism, but always promotion of more EV vehicles, because these are something which are also leading to less pollution, the green movement in this entirety. So regulations till now have been favorable. The third party rate is one such example, which is 15% lesser. Going forward, I'm sure, because adoption is something which we all want to increase, so should be favorable to EV. But yes, nothing in significant which I can talk about which is coming up right now.
All right, I think that's all for today. Thank you so much for taking time out and helping our viewers understand every aspect of EV battery insurance today. Thank you so much, Paras.
Thank you so much, Kavita.
Thanks. All right.